Hey everybody, welcome to this week's weekly roundup. I am Nat Daddy here with you for reviews on the books I thought were kind of noteworthy. Read a bunch of books this week, almost all I could get my hands on, whether it was digitally or physically, and I pulled some to the side here. Got a hefty pile here, about maybe a dozen or so I thought were worth pointing out to you. Indie heavy as always, because I do like those independent books. Before we can jump into that, let's start off with some of our sponsors here. 204 Comics, local Winnipeg store here. Great place for getting your books, especially if you want to get your pull list done. We will cover the FOC dates later on in this episode here, but this is where we go to make sure we get all our stuff. They have a heavy online presence too. They got some great selection, always expanding back issues there. So check that online. And Ablaze Comics, we're lucky enough to work with them where they will send us their PDFs in advance and we can kind of review and sometimes give you guys sneak peeks of what's coming up. But no Ablaze books to look at this week, so let's just jump into what we are going to look at. Kind of a side note there before we even jump into any of the stuff that's going on this week. Just wanted to give a shout out to Disney Plus there for their first two episodes of the new X-Men 97 animated series. Was much like a lot of people going into that hoping it'd be great, and so far it's been awesome. So cheers to them. So first book I want to cover this week is also my pick of the week for the cover of the week. This is the Batman facsimile. This is done in the treasury size there with the newsprint done inside there, so almost identical to that 70s feel there. So lots of nostalgia going on there. They do have a foil version as well for a few dollars more in that, so and it has that great wraparound cover. So everything inside is that original Ra's al Ghul story in that, but definitely awesome, full of Neil Adams art. Do check that one out if you get a chance. Like I said, that one is neat. It is that giant treasury size. So, all right, let's jump into some regular size books. Starting off this week, we got the. Oops, I didn't put it in there. We got the Web of Spider-Man one. Web of Spider-Man one this year is. I thought it was the beginning of a new series, but it's just the one shot that's kind of gives a couple page preview of all the Spider-Man and Spider-Man related characters of what's coming up in the next year. Okay to read. Like you said, you'll really get like 2 pages, a few panels, preview of what's going on. So kind of vague for some stuff. But the only thing bad about it, and it is a larger book, is it's $8, $7.99. So $8 for a book that's kind of just previews that doesn't really show a whole lot for all these characters. And unless you follow every Spider-Man and Spider-Man related character, this book might be worth kind of skipping a little. Kind of like I did the picture here. From the Archie horror stuff, we have Pop's Chocolate Shop of Horrors, Fresh Meat. This is a sequel to an earlier Pop's Chocolate Shop of Horrors that they had. They keep putting out more of these horror-related stuff from the Archie. Great things in here. This kind of goes into like the not necessarily the prequel, but some earlier stories of how the chocolate shop came around. It's always seemed to be around in Riverdale. So your usual kind of horror inspired and grossness and a little bit of goriness there. Not for regular Archie people. So your more cartoony stuff. This is not for them. This is more of that mature adult horror line. So anyone that's been following in the last couple of years the horror stuff like this, or the Jinx stuff, or the Sabrina, or the Madame Satan stuff, or that Wilkin boy, this is right up your alley. Great artwork as always. From BRP, we have a one-shot called A Place of Our Own. This one I kind of liked. It has some really neat artwork in there. It's about that young guy you see on the cover there. He's kind of going through some depression. He's having some bad thoughts, and he comes across this kind of maybe this kind of evil side, kind of like entity in another universe type of thing. That if he lets it bond to him, he can bring it back into his own world, and it makes him feel good. It kind of eats off his bad feelings, and that makes him feel better. And also, it gives him the ability to pass this along to others as well too. So he brings it back into his own world. Definitely starts feeling better and then makes other people feel better in that. But at what cost? Is this kind of like a symbiote monster type of thing that the more you're feeding it, the stronger it gets, and that even it seems like to be helping people. I know it's probably evil in the end. So even though it's a one shot, we don't really get the finite answer to that, but definitely it looks like that. So neat book. Like I said, some pretty neat artwork in there too. Just the one shot, A Place of Our Own. This is probably the book I was looking forward to reading the most and have been for a while. Just like a lot of other stuff that's been going on nostalgia-wise, 80s and early 90s stuff. This is a company called Nacelle. This is the launch of the Nacelle-verse. They've gotten a lot of older properties, and they're going to be bringing them all together to form like this new universe. Some of these older properties in here are RoboForce, Biker Mice from Mars, Sectors, Power Lords, and then this other character called the Great Garlo, which I don't remember at all. So I think that he might be a new character, and that's the character that kind of bonds all the other characters together here. So Garlo is this alien whose planet is destroyed, and he was away on business while that was going on. So he comes back to find this, and now he's out there trying to either find a new home or some survivors in that. So he ends up hooking up with this the space pirate kind of guy, and he goes from planet to planet looking for a new home for this Garlo here. This Garlo creature is just like this little pipsqueak of a character. He's kind of small, and but when he gets mad at night, he turns into like a giant. So that's kind of neat there. Some of the planets that he comes upon or on his adventures and gets introduced to all these characters. There's the RoboForce planet, Biker Mars, obviously, the Symbian planet, which the Sectors come from, and I was always a huge fan of the Sectors when they came out in the 80s, and then the Power Lords as well too. So that'll be neat to see how they build upon this universe. They have 2 miniseries starting up later on this spring, early summer. 3-issue series, one being Sectors and the other one being RoboForce, I believe. So good, I liked it a lot. This will definitely not have as more of a mature theme to it as the current reboot of the that new universe of the Energon stuff. It has the G.I. Joes and Transformers. This seems to be more along the line of the what's it called, Thundercats one. So more less mature, more family-like. From Boom Studios, we have Man's Best. Another book here with space travel, and another book here with pets involved as well too. So we've had a lot of books coming out in the last few years, and even a couple more coming out in the next couple of months about animals and how they interact with humans and that. So this one here is about these 3 pets. They're on a spaceship that's traveling to a new planet to kind of save humanity in that, and along the way they kind of get crashed or forced down by some people, and the owner and the rest of the crew are either killed or go missing, and then these animals are on the planet left to go looking for them. So, and they have like these weird, I wouldn't say weird, but have like all this like almost like mech tech on them and that. So they're walking around with these weapons strapped to them and advancements and that too. So that's kind of neat. They do not understand English. They understand pets, and humans understand themselves. Where a lot of those other ones, it's the animals can understand humans, but not so much in here. This kind of is like a homeward bound space odyssey type of thing. From Keenspot, we got Dust Pirates. Fun little book here. I enjoyed the artwork on here, nice and clean, bright colors in that. We have these 2 pirates that kind of picked out of like the 1790s era, and then transported away to these different, like a totally faraway planet in that, where it's kind of like a more like a space type of thing. So their boats are floating on air in that. So these 2 guys are there. They meet some people that are called Atlanteans, and it's kind of fun. It's nothing too special. To be honest, unless I saw this picture again, I probably won't remember it. So, but it was all right. It stands out a little bit different. From Dead Sky Comics, we have a book called Deep Prog. This one definitely has an underground feel to it. I really liked it a lot, though. It has it's about a woman who is kind of like this underground detective, has a lot of heavy lesbian dyke feel that to it, and they refer to themselves in that. And she is a person that kind of deals with people who are in with cults, or get them out of that and helps deprogram and that. Her herself went through one as a youngster and that, so I guess that's why she's so familiar with it. This one woman approaches her about a case and ends up getting more involved in that than just a simple case, especially when it seems like the cult involved might be the one that she escaped from when she was younger. So this one is definitely heavy on the underground lifestyle and a lot of sex and sex-related stuff in here. So definitely not for the younger viewer in that. So, but a good book. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed that underground art feel to it. From Dark Horse, we have a new one from Rom V called Dark Runner. This is about a future society on Earth where a portal opened up over the South Pacific at one point, or South America, I can't remember which of the two, and these monsters started pouring out. So they were just kind of taking over the planet, destroying all these humans. So it's years later, and the society has built these giant tech monsters or tech machines to fight the monsters. So this one woman here is getting ready to try out a new one in that, and kind of keep these monsters contained to the one area. So I'm not a huge fan of the mech warrior suit stuff, and I don't think I ever really will be, but this wasn't too bad so far. It does have some neat art in it. From Antarctic Press, we have a new volume of Critter. Critter is a kind of a feline female superhero. Now she's moved over to a new city and just starting new adventures there. Really like the artwork in here. Like I said, it does have that clean, very fine line look there, like you see on the covers. So if you've never tried out Critter before, this would be a good jumping off point. From Image, that new Skyborn line, again continuing on with the expansion of that Energon universe, we have the next issue of Cobra Commander #3. The Dreadloks have captured, and they're now interrogating Cobra Commander in their swamp hideout there. And even though they're doing a great job of torturing him and causing him pain in that, he's not really reacting, giving out any information. In fact, he's actually the whole time it's going on, he's more manipulating them and getting them to fight amongst themselves and reveal information that way. So not really working out well for them. Towards the end, he ends up getting out, and Nemesis the Enforcer shows up to help him with that situation as well too. Ends up taking off his human disguise and showing his true form, which is pretty original, pretty faithful to the original Nemesis Enforcer in the old cartoon series. So still loving this G.I. Joe and Transformer kind of adult reboot here that they're doing, and this is no disappointment there. It's continuing on. Probably this and the this and the Transformers and Duke series are some of the best reads of the year. From DC, we have issue 2 of the Batman 89 Echoes. So this is the next volume of the Batman 89 universe, which is basically the continuation of the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton Batman movies. So in this one here, we have more of what's going on in Arkham Asylum. We see Harley Quinn, the doctor, kind of leaning more and more into eventually turning into her Harley Quinn role. We see Bruce, Batman is missing and Alfred's kind of looking for him, but meanwhile at the same time there's this new person who's been introduced into the Arkham, and they're trying to infiltrate it, which is definitely Batman in that. So lots of stuff going on there. The likenesses of all the movie characters are definitely very, very obvious in the art and that. So if you're a fan of those movies, do check this out. Or if you have been a fan of the ongoing stuff so far, this is continuing on with it greatly. So do check that out. Batman 89 #2. And finally, the last thing I read this week, coming up for April Fool's Day from DC, we have a one-shot called April Special, focusing on all the ape and monkey related characters, simian related characters in the DC universe. You have all the good monkeys basically against all the evil monkeys in the story. Lots of fun there. So if you're a fan of any of those characters, like Geek or Gleek or Beepo, or let's see, who else was there? Detective Chimp. Almost every Titano, almost Monkey Prince, lots of classic ones, and even some of the newer ones I wasn't really familiar with, like Monkey Prince and that. So, yeah, lots of fun. Like I said, just the one shot, like they usually do in the seasons or the holidays and that. So, this one would be a fun read for the kids in the car if you're going on a trip for Easter weekend for sure. So, all right. What else do we got here? That's what we read this week. So let's see what's on the orderings this week for FOC. FOC, you got your final order cutoff. Again, this is the books that you need to order at your local comic book store by Saturday to hopefully guarantee that you'll get them when they do come out. So many books nowadays are so hot that I know at 204 there, where I do get my books from, that some books don't even make it to the shelves for the public to get because they're just claimed and ordered by the people who do the FOCs and that. So again, if you don't order it, you might not get it. Starting off for April 17th, you got your Image books, your Black Mask books, your Boom, your Blaze, your Dynamite. You got new Gargoyles titles starting up in there, and your Titan books and your DC. For the following week, April 24th, we have Dark Horse and Marvel. You got the new Black, White, and Red Darth Maul series starting up in there. The next issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, which always seems to be selling out. And the Ultra Universe number 1 second print. You got the new Deathstalker series coming from Vault, and Dick Tracy is making a comeback at Mad Kid Studios. So that's all for April 24th. And then May 1st, you got your IDW books. So that's what you need to focus on. Get those orders in by Saturday, and hopefully guarantee to get the titles that you want, the covers that you want. Maybe there's a special ratio you want. That's the way you got to get it. All right, everybody, a little bit of a shorter episode this week, but doesn't mean it wasn't full of amazing value for you. Hopefully, we will see you guys all in another week or so with the next episode on the weekly roundup. Hope you've been enjoying some of the other stuff been popping on the channel there. A little bit of the wrestling there last night. That was kind of fun. And again, we got the Omni reviews and trade back reviews coming up and popping up every once in a while too. Otherwise, we will see you all next week. Peace out.